Hello friends, so welcome to module 2 lecture 3 of your computer organization and architecture. Yeah. So in the previous class we have started with the discussion of your addressing modes. So I hope so you have viewed the second lecture of module 2. So in continuation with that, as I was speaking, we have started with the addressing modes, and we tried to address a few questions in the previous class. So these are my three important questions which we'll try to address in this upcoming class. So friends, we'll move ahead. We'll try to see what are the various addressing modes we have in our computer organization and architecture. So remember friends, these lectures, whatever we are going to know, that is module number 2, class 2 and class 3, which is this video, are very important in the view of your next subjects, like say MUP or MUSI. That is, MUP stands for microprocessor and MUSI stands for microcontroller, because here the programming in these subjects will be in the form of assembly language programming. So when we do assembly language programming, you need to understand the various things related to that, like the addressing modes, what are the different addressing modes, what are the opcodes, what are the operands, and what are the various. Say for example, I want to do addition, what is the command for addition? Add. Say for example, I want to do multiplication, then what is the command for multiplication? MUL. How these works, all these things you will be understanding in this module, which is module number 2. So it is bit tricky to understand, not difficult to understand. It is bit tricky to understand, so you need to be bit attentive. That's all. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll try to check upon this various addressing modes in this lecture. So friends, here the addressing modes is basically used to implement your various variables and constants. So a variable is nothing but it is a value. It is a value, and it is represented by allocating either to a register or a memory location. So remember, a variable is can be stored either in a register or it could be stored in a memory location. So that means, say for example, I have a variable. Say for example, I have a variable a, okay, and this a variable will be having some value, say 5. Sometimes this variable value 5 is fixed. If it is fixed, then we call it as a constant. If it is varying, then we say it is a variable a which is holding the value 5. After increment it may become 6, after increment it may become something else, and so on. So these variables and constants have two methods to store. Either we will be storing them in the registers, which I am just writing it as R, or we will store them in the other way, which we call it as memory locations. So I am just writing it as M. Okay. Now this value can be changed as needed. So as I told, this will be changed as we need. So say for example, I don't want this A in between here. Whatever the A I am writing here, whatever the A I am writing here, I don't want this A. I directly want to take the value 5. I directly want to take the value of 5. Then what we do is we use a symbol hash. We use the symbol hash to fetch the value directly. Say for example, I want to fetch the value 5, then I will be writing hash of 5. If I write hash of 5, it means that directly I will be getting the value. So based on this, we will be discussing our three important modes of addressings. Okay. So yeah. So the first addressing mode we have is register addressing mode. So I hope you are clear now. The addressing modes could be either based on the register or they are based on the variables. Okay. So the first one we have is your register addressing mode. Here the operand is the contents of a processor register. That means we will be using the registers to store our operands. Okay. So say for example, I have taken a small example. I want to move the contents of R1 into the contents of R2, right? So if I want to move the contents of R1, see friends, I am telling you it is contents of R1. It means that R1 has some value, say 5, right? Say R1 is a value, say 5. So say R1 has a value of 5, and this 5 I want to move from R1 into R2. So here the move is nothing but it is The moving is nothing but it is copying. We are copying the value of R1 into R2. That is the same 5 will also be reflected in R2. Fine. So this is very important, friends. So what we are doing here now, the operands are stored or they are making use of the register. To give you another simple example, say for example I want to add two contents. Then I will use the command say A, D, D. Sorry for the unclear writing because I will be using a mouse to write. It is a bit difficult to write using a mouse. Okay. So add, say for example I want to do R1 comma R2. So I am using here what now? What I am doing? I am saying add R1 comma R2. So what it is doing now? It is adding the contents of R1 with the contents of R2. Anything it could be. And the value it will be storing in R2. Like say for example R1 has a value of 5 and R2 has a value of 1. So 5 and 1 will be added, which will give you some 6. This 6 we will be storing in R2. This 6 will be storing in R2. So I hope friends this register addressing mode is clear. The simple difference here is to do an operation we will be using the registers, which is R1 and R2. So that's why we call it as register addressing mode. That's it. Okay. So I hope so this is clear. So I'll just clear out the slide, right? So yeah. So this is your register addressing mode. Going ahead, next very important thing or the next very important addressing mode we have is absolute addressing mode or direct addressing mode. So here the operand is in a memory location, friends. So as I told, here the operand will be the register, here the operand will be in the memory location, and the address of this location is given explicitly in the instruction. That means we define that memory location in the instruction. The meaning of explicit is we'll be defining that memory location in the instruction. If you compare this, there is no memory location defined, but when I speak of direct addressing mode, the memory location will be defined. So friends, to give you an example, it is something like this. So what we are doing here now, we are moving the contents of LOC into R1. LOC is nothing but a memory location which we are defined as LOC. LOC is a location. It is a location. Whatever is there in the LOC, that will be moved, that will be copied into R1. So LOC, why? Because we want to distinguish between your register and a memory location. Okay, so this is very important, friends. Now when I speak of direct, the next very important thing, so why we call it as direct, that we'll touch upon later. For now just understand, or for now just remember that it is in absolute addressing mode we will be using the memory location. In register addressing mode we will be using the registers. Okay, so this is one more example. What we have done here now, we have moved the contents of R0 into sum. Whatever the R0 contents are there, that we are moving into a memory location, sum, not into a register. Sum is a memory location. So this is how you distinguish between a register and a memory location. Okay, friends. So this is nothing but your absolute addressing mode. So going forward, the next one we have is immediate addressing mode. Here the operand is given again explicitly in the instruction. So remember, friends, here what will we do? Here the memory location is given explicitly in the instruction. Here the operand itself is given explicitly in the instruction. So what I need to do if I want to give an operand, or if I want to use an operand, just now we have seen, we will be using your hash marks. So that means what we have done here now, the value 100 will be moved into the register 100, sorry, R2. So the value 100 will be moved or will be copied into the register R2. So this is what is your immediate addressing mode. Here what happened? The contents of LOC will be moved into R1. Here what happened? The contents of R1 will be moved into R2. But here what it is happening now? The value 100 itself will be moved into R2. So this is what is difference between your register, difference between your immediate, absolute and register. So these three are very important. Okay. Now whenever I write here a hash sign, whenever I write here, sorry, yeah, whenever I write here a hash sign, it means that the number 100 which we have written here, it is a decimal. So remember friends, whenever I write hash, it is decimal. Don't forget this, it is decimal. And whenever I use say some symbol dollar, say I use a symbol dollar and I write 100, so in this case this number 100 is treated as a hexadecimal number, so this becomes a hex number. So the numbering notations are clear in the first module, I guess. So when I use a hash sign, it becomes a decimal, and when I use a dollar sign, it becomes a hexadecimal. So this is the major difference. So based on that, we can use our numbering. We can use our addressing mode, which is nothing but your immediate addressing mode. Okay. So before moving ahead, these three are my important addressing modes. So don't forget this friends. These are my important addressing modes which will be helpful. Fine. Now, yeah, still we have time. So the next very important thing we will be seeing is your, we'll move to the next slide. So the next very important thing we have is our, once again, okay. So this is clear, I guess. Your register, absolute and immediate. So the next thing we have is your indirect addressing mode. So the indirect addressing mode will be using one important concept in your indirect addressing mode, which we call it as pointers. Okay, we'll be using the pointers, so that's why we call it as register indirect addressing mode. So again, in indirect addressing mode we have two things. One is either with the help of the register or with the help of the memory location. So whenever I use a register, we call it as register indirect addressing mode. Whenever we call a whenever we use a memory location, we call it as a memory indirect addressing mode. Now what is this indirect addressing mode? That is the first question which arises. Later we'll touch upon this register indirect. First we'll try to understand what is this indirect addressing mode. Now to make you understand this, I'll take you a very simple example. Like say for example, say for example I want a chocolate. Say I want a chocolate. Okay, I want a chocolate, and this chocolate we will take this as and data. This chocolate, whatever I want, I am taking this an analogy for data. So I will say this is my data, and I, the person, say I am your processor. I am your processor. Okay. So your processor wants the, not professor, processor. Okay, so your processor wants the data. Now what could be the various ways of getting this data? Data here is chocolate. Remember, data here is chocolate. The processor here is nothing but your professor. Okay, now what could be the different ways? One way is what? Now I will directly go and I will take this data, or I will take this chocolate. This becomes your immediate. This becomes your immediate. Okay, sorry friends. Yeah, I'll just write I. This becomes your immediate, wherein this data is being directly fetched by the processor. Okay, what is the other option now? What is the other option? The other option is I will say that this data is with Ramesh, that is this chocolate is with Ramesh, and I want to get it from Ramesh. Then what I will do? I will go first from here. Then I will go to your Ramesh. Say this is my Ramesh canteen. This is my Ramesh canteen R, and from the Ramesh canteen I will be taking the data. This becomes your register mode. What we have done? We have stored the data inside the register. Then the processor will first go to the register, and from the register it will take the data. This is nothing but your register addressing mode, which I will call it as R, or we have also called it as direct addressing mode. Therefore I am writing here a D. Okay, because writing direct might take some time. I hope this is understandable, friends. You have a Ramesh Anna as well, your favorite people. Okay, then this is register or direct addressing mode. Next thing what I will do, say I am unable, I am not feeling well, I am unable to go out of my cabin, then I will tell your some instructor or some Vinayana. We will take the example of a Vinayana. Then I will ask your say helper, I will call him as a helper. So I'll ask my helper, what I will do, I'll ask my helper to get me this chocolate. Then what he will do, the helper, first I am telling my helper, so from the processor or from your professor, it has come to a helper. From the helper, it is going to where now, where he is going? He is going to Ramesh Anna. What Ramesh Anna will do, he will take the candy or the chocolate and he will give it back to your helper. Then the helper will be giving to me. Right, so this is very important, friends. What is happening here then? This is nothing but your indirect addressing mode. I call it as indirect addressing mode. Why it is indirect? Because I am not going directly to take the chocolate, nor I have put it in a register, but instead what we have done, we have put the address of one of the register. This helper is nothing but it could be a register, or it could be a memory location. Similarly, here this Ramesh Anna, he could be a register or he could be a memory location. So friends, what is happening here then? First, the processor will be going to a register. This register knows the address where the data is stored. So this register, what it will do, from here it will move to another register wherein the data is stored. That means this register contains the address of the other register, and from this other register we will be fetching the data. So this is nothing but your indirect. What did we do in the direct method? The processor will first directly be going into a register, then from there he will be taking the data. So this is a direct addressing mode. In indirect, we will be adding one more register, and with the help of this register, we will be trying to get the data. So I hope so. This will be clearing your all the addressing methods. Immediate, I stands for nothing but immediate, R stands for nothing but direct, and the next one second, yeah, I stands for nothing but your immediate, R stands for direct, and indirect is nothing but wherein you have two registers. So via two registers, it will be reaching the data. So friends, this is very important. Addressing methods summarized in one simple diagram. So please don't miss this part of the video. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just check out the time. Yeah. So this is pretty interesting, which we will be studying in the next class, class as well. I'll continue the rest of the things in the next class. For now, you just remember this. That is the whole summarization of the addressing modes. In the next class, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try to check upon the indirect addressing methods. Okay, friends. Thank you for watching. We'll again meet in the next class. If you have any queries at any point of time, you can just message me or WhatsApp me. You have my number. Thank you. And one more very important thing, please have a continuity. First watch the first video, then come for the second video, and then come for the third video. They are hardly of 15 minutes. So please don't miss out the continuity. Please try to be sequential. Thank you.